In problems 5 and 6, we're going to be sketching some linear inequalities. This means that we need to graph the linear equation, figure out what kind of line we need to use, and then figure out what side of the line we need to shade. First of all, I'm going to identify what type of line we need to use. Based on the symbol, number 5 is going to get a dotted line because the inequality sign does not have a line underneath it, whereas number 6 will get a solid line because the inequality sign does have a line underneath it. Let's start with graphing number 5. I'm going to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept for that inequality. I'm going to start by finding the y-intercept, which means I'm going to plug in 0 for x. Then I'm going to solve for y, and that gives me y is equal to 3. That gives me one of the points that I can put on my graph. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the x-intercept by plugging in 0 for y. That gives me x equals 6, and that's another point that I can put on my graph. Now that I've got 2 points, I can go ahead and connect them with a line. In this case, I need to use a dotted line, again, because there's no line underneath the inequality sign. And then the last thing I need to do for this is figure out which side to shade. Which side has all the xy points that make that equation be greater than 6. To figure that out, I'm going to use a test point. I'm going to go with 0, 0 because that's easy to plug in. So I put in 0 for x and 0 for y, and that gives me a statement that reads 0 is greater than 6. This is not true, so we would not shade the side with 0, 0. We would shade the other side of the line. For number 6, we're going to go through the same process to start out. We're going to find 2 points to graph, in this case the y-intercept and the x-intercept. We'll find the y-intercept by plugging in 0 for x. Then we'll solve for y. That gives us y is negative 4. So there's 1 point that we can put on our graph. We'll find the x-intercept next by plugging in 0 for y. Solve for x, and that gives us x is equal to 2. There's another point that we can put on our graph. This time we're going to connect those 2 points with a solid line. And again, we need to figure out which side of the line is the correct side to shade. And so we'll use a test point for that. Again, I'm going to use 0, 0. It's a pretty easy point to plug in. So I put in 0 for x and 0 for y. And now I have a statement that reads 0 is less than or equal to negative 24. This is false, so I'm not going to shade the side that has 0, 0. I'm going to shade the other side.